Hello, my name is Jane Fays and welcome to my studio in Sydney, Australia, and welcome to Gel Printing for Beginners. The course will cover a lot of stuff, and so we're going to start way back at the beginning, looking at your supplies and how to set out your desk, how to care for those supplies, and then we'll look at basic principles of things like addition and subtraction and the effect of opaque and transparent paints. What goes down first is uppermost in your print, mirror image, many things. And then we'll look at a few of the really favourite techniques on the gel plate, things like stamping, stenciling, botanical printing, magazine image transfer, and laser image transfer. Each of those are big topics in and of themselves, and so we can't possibly cover them all in a beginner's course. But I hope this will open up your interest in perhaps one or many of those areas, and that you'll go on to explore them in greater detail. So I'm excited to bring the course to you. I've enjoyed creating it, and I hope you learn a lot in gel printing for beginners. I'm so glad you've joined me on this beginner's course, this free beginner's course in gel printing. Before we get into all the practical side of things, I just wanted to encourage you to get yourself an art journal. And this is one of the key things that I think will help you in your learning process on the gel plate. This is my art journal when I first started gel printing. I bought my first gel plate on the 1st of February 2020 and also bought this art journal. And I have, as I learnt the process, I actually glued and printed into this art journal. It's quite thick, got lots of pages. This is just the first of many. And I just want to show you through this because I encourage you so much to do the same. This will be the way you will learn the most. You will be able to look back, you will be able to remember. You need to write notes on each step of the process and remember things like colour, timing, what your process was, what mediums you used, what brands you used, what stencils you used. So here's just a flick through of my very first gel prints. And I'm going to make it quick. I just printed onto tissue there. I'm putting prints together. So to save space, I've just taped them in on top of each other. And I've written notes. And even today, I can look back and follow what I've written, and I could recreate that process. So I encourage you to do the same. So this is, you know, where I'm learning. I'm not necessarily liking everything I've done, but I write notes like liking white dots as first layer. So I'm learning the principles of layering those paints and the effect of what order opaque and transparent paints work in. So here's a few more examples. I did love working with and on black. Here's an idea where I had my palette was another gel plate, and I was making some marks on that, and that actually made some nice prints. I will jump ahead. Here is a really interesting example where which is one of the principles we'll learn in our first lesson, the addition and subtraction. So I had two 5x7 gel plates, and what I was stamping on one, I was putting the remnants or the leftover paint onto the other. As you can see, I did like printing with metallics onto black. But I've written notes, I've written colours, I've written my process all in here. Botanical printing, positive and negative prints with stamps, again just underneath here I've got some notes. I'm just taping them all in, just explaining here what I have done, and dated as well. That's important. So keep you writing the dates. And what else have we got? This was my first ever magazine image transfer. So it wasn't too bad for the very, very first one. But I've again written how I think I did it and how I could perhaps improve on that. Down here I've got another magazine transfer that goes that way, and I've written some good detailed notes there of my process. Where are we up to? Okay, so then I'm starting to do some more what I call, well, what a lot of people call grungy prints, where it's not, neat edges. And here's some more. I'm liking the effect of metallic paints, particularly sort of gold, bronze and pewter. Writing all my notes here. And yes, more experimenting into image transfer, which I really do love. So that's one book. Then just going into using tea bags as a substrate. The next journal was also with thorough notes. This is again experimenting with magazine image transfer and then stamping and splattering and writing the notes here. So just flick through. A common beginner's mistake, I've just written these notes for me to remember what to go through with you, but there were some air bubbles there and I cleaned them off thinking, oh yeah, they look okay, and then you pull the print and she's got all smudges on her face. So that is a common beginner's mistake. Be careful with that. Just lots of ideas and clear notes just here on my process. So that is gel printing, but even when I do a course from somebody else, I also like to write notes. So I did the Karen Stamper course, Free Up Your Sketchbook and Grow, and she encourages people to use a concertina sketchbook. And she's an incredible collage artist, and I learned a lot of things through her. So rather than making it, just trying out the process, I decided to incorporate what I was learning throughout my journal. And so I didn't try and hide it, but I incorporated all my lessons that I was learning just to make it part of the book and the design. And she encouraged us to do an assessment. So I was, making personal assessments of what I did and didn't like on a page as I moved through. But, there were some things that I did and didn't like, very messy, and I was learning a lot, but I was just also incorporating. So I can now, without going back to her videos, look through this and actually remember. This is not gel printing, obviously, but, there are some techniques here. But this was a course called Free Up Your Sketchbook and Grow, and that just shows you how you can, again, record those lessons that you're learning. So before you start on this beginner's course, I would love you to get yourself just a very cheap art journal, something that suits the size of your gel plate, and from the very start, print into it, adhere your prints into it, make good notes of your process, of the colours you used, how long things took, and what you did and didn't like. and also ideas that you could develop further. So now that I've encouraged you to do that, grab yourself an art journal. It can be as cheap as anything, and make sure you keep a good record of your learning process.